let's try another one. Let's look at problem B. In problem B, we've got x squared minus 12x plus y squared plus 10y equals negative 25. Now, they did do something very nice for us in this next one in B, is our x's are kind of already together, and our y's are already together, and any other numbers are already on the other side. And again, we cannot assume that negative 25 is going to stay negative because we still have to complete the square, which means that I'm going to be adding things to both sides of the equation. So I'm going to leave my x squared minus 12x. I'm going to leave some room plus y squared plus 10y, leave some space, and then I have my negative 25 on the other side. So let's start out by looking at our x's and completing the square. So completing the square says, first of all, I need to take the number, as long as there's a 1 out in front of the x squared, take the number that's out in front of the x term, which is a negative 12. And do what first? I need to cut it in half. Well, half of negative 12 is negative 6. Then I need to do what with that? I need to square it. Well, negative 6 squared is 36. So remember, this 36 is what I want to add in with my x's so that I get a perfect square. So I'm going to add this 36 in along with my x's. But if I do it to one side, I have to add it to the other side. So I'll add a 36 to my other side as well. So let's see what happens here. So I still need to take my x squared minus 12x plus 36 and see how that's going to factor now. It should be a nice perfect square that is identical on both pieces. So I need two factors of, that's a positive 36, that add up to a negative 12. Well, the only two factors of positive 36 that add up to a negative 12 are a negative 6 times a negative 6. So that means that this will factor out as an x minus 6 times an x minus 6, which means I can bring those together, and there's two of them, and I can rewrite it as x minus 6 squared. Okay, that's half the problem, though. I still have to do the same thing for the y's. So I've got my y squared plus 10y. Again, at least as long as I've got a 1 out in front of the y squared term or x squared term, I can go ahead and just get started. And there's a number 10 here in front of the y. So completing the square says to take that 10 first and cut it in half, which will give me 5. Then I'm supposed to square it, which will give me 25. So remember, the goal of this was to find a number, which I need to add along with my y's that will give me a perfect square. But if I add it along to the y's, I also have to add it to the other side of the equation, so I'm going to add a 25 there too. So why did we do this again? Is same reason as before. This means that this should factor out as a perfect square. Well, that means we need two factors of 25 that add up to a positive 10. Well, that's a y plus 5 times another y plus 5, which we can rewrite as y plus 5 squared. And I'm going to be careful. I don't want to forget to carry down my symbols. I've got a plus and an equal sign that I need to carry down. So a plus between the x and the y's and an equal sign. Let's see what's going to go on the other side. We originally had a negative 25. We added a 36 and a 25. Well, the positive 25 and negative 25 will cancel out, leaving us with just the 36 we added to both sides when we completed the square on the x's. So let's see, what does this mean? If I rewrite this, that means I've got an x minus 6 squared plus a y plus 5 squared equals 36. So if this is a circle, where is its center? Well, its center, we've got a negative 6 and a positive 5 would be at the reverse of these two. a positive 6 and negative 5. And then its radius is already squared on the other side. So the 36 is the radius actually squared, so our radius would just be 6. So this is a circle, because I don't end up with any imaginaries, and I don't end up with a 0 radius. I just end up with a normal circle. So it's a circle. Again, its center is at 6, negative 5, and its radius is 6. Let's try